One of the things that we didn't read out, I was rewatching our show from yesterday. Anyone that didn't watch that was a show we did on Roger's YouTube channel, which essentially talked about our experiences at the National Animal Rights March and some of the banners and the claims making and some suggestions for next year's march and all that kind of thing. But one of the comments that I did notice was the messaging. If we could make it consistent throughout the march, the messaging could be something very simple. So just hypothetically, if every single person that was holding a placard had a placard that said rights not welfare, that message would be incredibly strong despite how simple it was. It doesn't need to be complicated, it needs to be consistent. That's the real sort of important factor here.
Well, we covered that with the idea of
but it would be the idea of, instead of maybe like, I mean, I made the suggestion that we'd write our own signs, right? But I actually think with that in mind, we'd be better off pre-designing signs and handing them out.
Yeah, but we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, so I'm saying, but obviously I'm just saying it was my suggestion about like the blank pieces of cardboard, but the blank pieces of cardboard allow all those variations, right? Well,
yeah, I'd go back to that thing about animals have rights, even though obviously we tend not to just say animals.
Well, even that, right? But it just imagine if every single person that was holding up a placard, that's what the placard said. You'd have a very united message.
Yeah, and you still have a lot of banners and stuff and all that, which would be different.
Yeah, you can still have them in the same variations in terms of size and colour and, you know, how they would kind of look and all that sort of stuff. But the messaging would be consistent.
I remember once helping a chap who was organising the World Day for Animals in Laboratory March in Birmingham. He got a load of placards actually made with the posters already on them. And distributed them to people.
I mean, with hindsight, I think that would be a better idea than the idea of just turning up with some pens and some blank canvases.
Because they don't look great.
Because what about if someone turns up and writes, "If it bleeds, leave it alone"?
Well, the problem is they don't look great. Anyway, you want the members of the public, you know, along the route of the march to see the placards, and so you need them, you know, ones that are like properly printed are much better for that purpose, aren't they?
Double-sided ones are good, aren't they? You can read
absolutely. I was going to say they should be double-sided. Yeah. And the good thing about it is, obviously, if they were very simplistic, let's just say for argument's sake, they said animals have rights, then they wouldn't be exclusive to NARM, right? So these people could loan them out or make use of them for some other outreach or whatever. They could be used throughout the year. They're not just like a one-off and then they go back in the cupboard for 12 months. That messaging is kind of across the board consistency, isn't it? Yeah.
These ones were on sticks. They were on sticks, kind of stapled to sticks. And like most of them got given back at the end of the march.
We were talking about NARM having something to do during the year. Well, a fundraiser for that would be quite good.
A crowdfunder for that would be good. Yeah, you could say we want to, you know, provide people with placards that we understand some people can't bring them.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, it would be. These aren't like NARM specific signs, I say. So, like the Earthlings Project or whatever that operate 3 days a week. There's no reason why they couldn't make use of them too, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think if anyone wants them, if people, you know, you'd say to people, look, you know, somebody could announce that. I think what you do, and especially if there were going to be speakers and the system is set up at the beginning, you know, for stuff, you know, for some stuff to be happening before the march, you know, through the loudspeakers, that could be announced that we've got a load of placards here. Please come and take one if you need one. If you don't want to keep the placard, then, you know, please bring it back afterwards.